What's going on, YouTube? It's your host, Rich GNT, and we're here to talk about a new development that just happened. The U.S. jumped into Venezuela and said, yo, Maduro, come here. We got to talk. No, seriously, they went in, snatched his ass up, and said, yo, we're going to have you kind of stand trial for your crimes. A lot of people have had a lot to say about that. I'm not Venezuelan, so I don't know the full ins and out of it. But the things that I do know comes from the fact that Venezuela does share its border with a country that my family's from, Guyana, right? And Venezuela and Guyana have been having kind of some issues for the past few years and everything like that. And there's been some issues where, you know, some of the people from Venezuela have been going over to Guyana and causing some issues. But I'm not going to get into that right now. That's not the most important thing. But let's jump right in.
Did you know that Maduro, like the president, had a bounty of $50 million for his capture? Did you know that? If you're not Venezuelan, I don't want to hear it. No Venezuelan passport, no opinion. This government, these people have been in power for 26 years. You know how old I am? 26. I don't know anything different. Oh, but then why do you keep voting for him? I don't think you understand the level. And since you don't understand the level, then you don't understand why everyone in Venezuela is so happy about this. This is the happiest day of my life. You know how many times we have been so close to getting these people out of the power, out of the government, and all we get is a big fuck you? All of the times that we have thought that these people were gonna finally leave, and then they never do. Venezuelans have been messaging the US for years, sending messages, asking, please, begging the US for an invasion. Do we like invasions? No, but you know what the government does? You know what we have had to deal with all of these years? The government kills the civilians. The government attacks the civilians with fire weapons, even though the civilians have no weapons. So do you really think that these people were going to leave if we asked them pretty please? We have asked them by protesting, and what do we get? Bombed, we get shot. The government hires mercenaries so they can go and dissipate the crowds on the protest. So what did we do? We don't protest anymore. Hundreds of thousands of people have died along the years just for having a different opinion, for having an opinion against the government. We just came to a point where we thought nothing's going to change. We had no hope. We just gave up. And then last year we had elections, and we won, the opposition won, we had the proof. And then the government said, no, we won. We said, where's the proof? And they said, this president.
Yeah. I'm not Venezuelan, but like I said before, I've looked into Venezuelan news and everything like that. I visited Guyana. And the reason I kind of looked into that because there was a situation where, I'm not sure if it's really going on right now, where Venezuela was trying to say Essequibo over there in Guyana was their land originally and they want it back. I personally believe it was because there was sanctions put on Venezuela when it came to their oil, so they were unable to make money. And then Guyana recently having discovered oil in its land, they were pretty much saying, okay, well, this is ours now, so we can, you know, it's a whole thing. I'm not going to get too much into it. So I've looked into what's going on in Venezuela and everything like that. And then not only that, visiting Guyana, I've heard and seen some Venezuelans, and I know it's not cool over there. Like, she's right, they have been struggling. And to get a little bit vulgar, there's a lot of prostitutes that are in Guyana that are Venezuelan. And the reason why is because they came over from a country that was kind of shit, to be honest, and they don't know how to make money besides selling their bodies. You see it a lot, trust me. So when I heard this happen, I was like, oh shit, they actually got his ass out. And then to my surprise, a bunch of dumbasses were talking about that was wrong and everything like that. You know what's so funny? We got dumbasses over here protesting no kings, and we don't have a king, and not even half of that shit happened to us. And those very same people that protested no kings are the same ones going, oh, look what just happened. They just went in and stole somebody. It's like, okay, is either they do it the old way of funding a coup and everything like that, which we all can say that we don't really like, or they go in with full transparency and snatch his ass up like they did. You know, there's so much that goes into this. And like I said, I'm not like fully well versed on what goes on in Venezuela. I just know a little bit from my research and then talking to Guyanese people and then talking to Venezuelan people. But this is a good thing for them. Trust me, it is.
That they kidnapped. He was not a legitimate president because he did not win the last election. He was just not leaving. The amount of people that have left the country, the amount of families that have been separated, the amount of people that can't go back because of the situation. I haven't been able to go back since I left 10 years ago. And now knowing that there's a possibility that I can go back, that this government has fallen. I thought I honestly didn't think I would be alive to see this. How messed up it is. That's how deep this goes. And this is just a very surface level, but it drives me nuts to see people online saying how awful this is, when if you look at the videos, you're not going to see people recording the bombings being like, oh my god, this is awful. Everyone is cheering, everyone is celebrating, everyone cannot believe that this is happening. This isn't some random attack and then they kidnap this guy and his wife and poor people. No, these are very messed up people. What's gonna happen? I don't know. Are people gonna die? I don't know. But people have been dying because of the government, because of our government that attacks its own people. Of course, politicians are corrupt. Of course, there's mismanagement in every single country, but these people are evil. They don't care. They only take all the money for themselves and left the country in ruins. So before saying anything, please inform yourselves.
She's 100% correct. Inform yourself. I've seen a few videos of people talking about it and making sense. Oh, well, this is wrong. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. It was so bad, and like, this is such a good thing that some of the Guyanese people in Guyana were basically saying, why didn't they stop in Guyana and get all these corrupt people that's in their government? Allegedly. I don't need anybody knocking down my door talking about why I said what I said. Look, if you know, you know. But besides that, yeah, look, if you don't know what's going on, if you haven't done your research, and like I said, I've done more research than the average person, but not as, like, I haven't had a lived-in experience. Even I know this was not something that the people of Venezuela are going to, like, cry about. No, they're cheering in the streets, literally cheering in the streets. And yet you have people talking about how this was terrible. You know, I'm not under the guise that this wasn't done with some ulterior motive and whatnot. I'm not, no. I'm not foolish enough to not believe that. I understand that. Everything that's done within politics, just like what she said, has some type of angle to it. But we have to take joy in the little victories that come along the way. Yes, this is a good thing for them. What happens next? Oh, man, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. And just like what I said when I voted for Trump in 2024, right? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to just be like, boom, that's it. The ship has been righted. No, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some pain. It's going to take some tears. It might even take some blood. But I do think that this will be the right track for them. All right? I do think that this can probably open the doors for them to have not only a legitimate election, but like legitimate people that will care for their citizens and not just going to, you know, when they don't like what's being said or being done within their government. So, yeah. I might do another video talking about like what other people's responses to this and how they're saying, oh, well, this is terrible, all this other type of nonsense. You know the people I'm talking about, all right? It's crazy out here. Well, you guys already know the drill. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. If you're Venezuelan, or if you have relations to someone from Venezuela, or you just have more information than I do, what do you see happening in the future? You know what I'm saying? And do you feel like there's something good on the horizon? Let me know down in the comments below. But that's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.